In the latest batch of episodes of Love Island France, Thomas gets exposed. Now, I already saw a few red flags from Thomas in the pods and outside of the pods, but I was getting loads of comments saying he deserves better, Kim is mean, this and that, like he's a good guy, he should have got with Tatiana, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I don't know about Thomas, there's something off about him. Then there was these rumors going around, and I feel like these rumors going around are relevant to the latest batch of episodes. I think that we're discussing the same person here. So basically the rumor going around is that right before the pods, Thomas was entertaining some woman, and she said that he was putting it on fast and thick. They got matching tattoos. He love bombed her like crazy. The same things he was telling the girls in the pods is what she was saying to him. It's making this whole like sob story, like, you know, trauma bonding, getting deep and whatever. And then he basically fucked off to go on Love is Blind. I think that's the gist of it. It doesn't sound very good. It's batch of episodes. We have the pod reunion where everybody from the pods meet up, and there's this one girl, Anais. She basically comes out to be like, I got some tea that Thomas might not be here for the right reasons, and that basically he was, you know, seeing one of her friends of a friend's right before the show, and they got pretty serious, and then he came on the show and cut it off with her, but then contacted her when he came out of the pods, almost kind of like leaving the door open. Now, in the pods, he's presenting himself as he's dating intentionally, right? And he hasn't been in a relationship for a long, long time because he's been waiting for the one, and he's, you know, dating intentionally. That's how he put himself across. But he was in a full-blown relationship right before the pods, and then conveniently cut it off when he got a call to be on a Netflix show. Interesting. The lady also claimed that he's not an architect, and he's lying about his job as well. But yeah, interesting. I mean, this isn't the first time it's happened. We've had this happen multiple times, but it is a big red flag. Yes, she gives Kim the heads up, and she goes to Kim, and Thomas is very defensive and just starts gaslighting. He's basically like, whatever this rumor, whatever you've been told, it wasn't serious, it wasn't that deep, you know, it's in the past. So yeah, I don't really care about it. You don't really care about it, but Kim does. And it's an issue, so it should be discussed. He's already trying to squash the issue like, you know, it's not a big deal, and Kim shouldn't be making it a big deal. What? And then he's got his friend or whatever, his fellow trash friend, trying to back him up, talking about, oh, Kim, you need to be more tolerant. What? She just caught her man lying, and now there's this woman claiming that they were in a full-blown relationship and he's trying to leave the door open. Huh? And she's just meant to look past that. So the gaslighting continues. He starts talking about, oh, you're always trying to look for something to point out. You're always making things a big deal. You're always trying to make me look bad. Of course, I'm the bad guy. I always have to be the bad guy. Making himself the victim. And this is what he likes to do. He gets called out on questionable behavior. He did this with the whole Fight For Me comment. He starts gaslighting and remixing. Then he starts crying or getting emotional. And now suddenly the person who called him out on the questionable behavior is the bad guy, and he's the victim. It's all very sinister. He starts coming on to Anais, basically saying, well done, Anais. Good for you, Anais. Like, basically saying, like, oh, fuck you, Anais, coming in here meddling. Guilty as charged. This whole, oh, it's not a big deal situation. But you got matching tattoos. And it ain't no big deal. Where they do that at, Thomas? If it ain't no big deal, then you're just very dedicated to being like trash. That's crazy. Anywho, he seems to successfully gaslight his way out of the situation because they actually do make up after this. I don't know if he apologizes or not, but it seems like they're sweeping this information under the rug. They seem to now be going well. With them, it's always hot and cold. They're doing good, they're doing bad, they're arguing, they're not. But right now, it seems like they're on the hot side going into marriage. Should they get married? I say no. But what do we think about this information? Apparently, Thomas has come out to basically say what he said on the show, that, you know, she's exaggerating things. It wasn't as serious as she's making it out to be. But like I said, matching tattoos, I don't believe it, Thomas. I do not believe it. But what do you guys think? Can you give Thomas the benefit of the doubt? Because I can't. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe both of them are questionable. You know, well, who is the most questionable out of the two? I would say Thomas, because yes, Kim is mean and all of these things, but one thing about Kim is she keeps it real. She's always honest and she's always a straight shooter and straightforward, whereas Thomas has gaslights, remixes, and he's quite slimy. He's quite sinister in my opinion, but I gotta hear you guys' thoughts on the tea, darling. And what do you think about Anais? Do you think she just wanted to be messy, or do you feel like she was looking out for her girl Kim? And if you had this information, would you tell Kim or would you not say anything? I would want to be told. So I think I would disclose. I wouldn't say it like it's truth. I'd just be like, you know what? Take this information as what you will. I ain't trying to stir nothing, but this is what I heard. And if it was me, I would want to know. I maybe say, like, I've heard some things. Like, it's up to you whether you want to know or not. And if she wants to know, then I'll disclose. But yeah, Anais is a girl's girl. And that's why Thomas is hating. And he's managed to gaslight his way out of the situation. Because he's a veteran. He's done this before. This is a professional. But yeah, like I said, I want to hear your thoughts on the situation.